Idea originated, I was doing a study abroad in England, in London, and I was doing my master's in sustainable brand marketing and at the London College of Fashion. And this was 2009, so I'm kind of dating myself, but sustainability in CPG environments and apparel was really rising up. And I saw that a lot of different fashion brands were trying to address it in different ways, except for underwear. And I think because the rise of spandex, nylon, elastane really took over that category since the 70s, and it was seen as this like miracle materials that could help stretch and fit on any body. And while potentially that is true, there's also so many downsides. And so kind of seeing that, observing it, and working with a number of different sustainable fashion brands, I really just thought to myself, there has to be a better way. And so it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles a few years later and saw the manufacturing sector, met the right people that could help bring this vision to life.
You make it sound so easy, and we know that is not true. All right, let's just go back a couple of steps there. So you said you were studying over in England, which, girl, I did, and you. I'm going to date myself here. I was in London in the 80s, totally changed my life just running around on the underground, meeting boys in clubs. It was fantastic. So, with that said, you're over there studying. What part was it about your studies that really made you start even thinking about this? Because again, this is not something people are really aware of. Like you said, the plastics and stuff in our clothes. And you're right, with the advent of spandex and nylon, we all thought like, oh my God, life couldn't get easier, which in a way it couldn't, but it couldn't get worse as well for the environment. So what was it over there that you were seeing or experiencing or learning that really made you start thinking about this is something that I potentially would like to focus on?
I think it was meeting. I actually interned for a luxury organic silk brand at the time. And really, I think getting the exposure to materials, I was coming at it from the business perspective. So I was always in either brand marketing, business strategy, but working one-on-one with the designer at this luxury lingerie brand allowed me to have exposure to the importance of materials. And I think that's where understanding how important natural materials are, especially those that sit next to your skin. And so I started thinking about like, okay, what is the best material for an undergarment that you are wearing all day long and it should be breathable, um, but for the longest time, and I myself, I couldn't find 100% natural options. And so I think it was probably the culmination of working with these brands, me getting a better handle on the importance of natural materials, and then eventually putting the pieces together for my thesis. At my master's program, I did a small capsule collection of natural undergarments. And I think that sparked the initial idea like, okay, I can actually bring some of my own ideas to life in an actual product setting. And I always remember this one thing that my mom used to tell me when, and kind of like full circle moment. I remember my mom when I was younger saying, you should never stay in your bathing suit all day long because the risk is very high for causing infection and bacteria. And then I remember like thinking, okay, well, what is a bathing suit made out of? Nylon, elastane, polyester, and then look at what our underwear is made out of. Nylon, elastane, polyester, because it restricts any type of airflow and it promotes bacteria growth. So from a health perspective, just it was obvious to me that this was something that needed to change. And then from my sustainable business mind, it also felt like, okay, we're using materials that are derived from petrochemicals that stay and shed microplastics in our waterways and that take 200 plus years to actually disappear. And when they do disappear, it's not a net benefit. It's a net negative because they're polluting the soil that they end up in, or landfill. So it just felt like, okay, there's a lot of different reasons why a like plastic free option needs to exist, and it just made sense for me to start putting time and effort to make it happen.
Okay,